Hey everyone, this is Some Nerdy Guy back again with another video, and this is kind of a hybrid video because I want to discuss something, but I'm also going to be unboxing something at the same time. But before I do the unboxing part, I'm going to get into the discussion part, almost borderline rant part. So this box is from Limited Run, and I just want to talk about how, pardon my French, how shitty the community for collecting limited run games is. It is so bad and so, like, I don't want to use the word toxic because people use that for literally everything. They try to pull that word out of their ass to use for everything, but it's just so unfriendly, unwelcoming. Like, you can't even post. I mean, I don't know about other people's groups, but there's a group like page that I'm in for limited run collecting, and it's just a bunch of these rich white dudes that like narc and belittle other people for either not being able to afford something, not having a certain game, or just like if you have any sort of criticism towards limited runs, like, oh well, you're just poor, you can't afford it, so you're mad. It's like, dude, I I have all the things that I've wanted. I've worked really hard to get. I work for my money. I don't just get it handed to me. So I don't know. Sorry, like I can't get every single game, but I'm pretty grateful that I've been able to afford the things that I do want. And if I have a complaint, I'm going to express that complaint. And I feel like every company is warranted to have criticism for anything. No company is perfect. Even the companies that I love, like Nintendo, Limited Run, I do love I like them. I like the products that they make, but they are not perfect and they're allowed to be under criticism for things that you're not happy about. And sure, you can make the argument that, oh, you're just bitching just to bitch. And to an extent, there are people that just like to complain. But I did make a post about this package specifically that I was getting a little irritated because this took almost a month to get here. This is from their New Year's blowout sale. They have like some copies of stuff left over from whatever things were available, and they had some copies left over, and they just sell them all. And usually I'm pretty understanding of the fact that Limited Run isn't a company that just has everything on hand right away. It takes time for them to produce everything, like, you know, your boxes, and if you buy a collector's edition, they have to like get all that stuff made overseas and everything like that. And I get that. And of course, with the situation that the whole world is in right now, that stuff takes a lot longer than it used to. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Like, I understand. Is it annoying that it takes a year to get something? Yeah, it's a little annoying, but I'm not really complaining about that. What I complained about was that all of these games that they had for this blowout sale were already in hand. They didn't have to produce anything. They didn't have to make anything. They didn't have to. They were already there. Just throw them in a box, ship them, and it took them almost a month just to give me my tracking number. I just got these, and it's a month later to the day, or one day late. February 3rd is tomorrow. Yeah, today's the 2nd. I ordered these on January 3rd and they came close to February 3rd. It took an entire month just to get this. And I'm just like, why? Why does it take them so long if it's already in hand to take it, throw it in a box and ship it? Granted, I know that there were a lot of people that probably ordered stuff. I get that. And that's the more sensible arguments that I saw that were against what I said, because I was complaining. I was like, why is it shouldn't take this long? Why is it taking this long? It's like, well, you know, a lot of people ordered stuff and they're probably just sorting through all that stuff. But I had people like literally bashing my entire existence just because I had a complaint about shipping, which I get it. There are people that, like, as soon as you click the order button, you want it right away. And that's a bit ridiculous, but it's been a month, an entire month, and I heard almost a month, and I heard nothing. No tracking number, no, hey, it's on the way, we're just backlogged on stuff. Like, I didn't hear anything, no communication whatsoever. Now, to put it into perspective for all the people that complained to me about like that I shouldn't complain about that. Just imagine for a second if you were an eBay seller or an eBay buyer and you bought something from someone and they took a month for them to send it out. You'd be pissed, right? You'd be absolutely pissed. They're like, there's no reason that it should have taken you a month to get that. Oh, well, we're backlogged. No, there's no excuse for that. You're supposed to send it. When you sell something, you send it out. What's the difference? Because I've heard people say, oh, well, Limited Run is a small company. You can't expect them to get. Limited Run is not the same company that it was like 5 years ago. They've gotten, I'm sure, significantly bigger than they were a few years ago. When you're getting IPs like Star Wars by LucasArts, when you're getting Castlevania and Contra, which they haven't announced yet, like, they're not just doing indie games anymore. They're like tied in with these big developers to make physical copies of their games. Like, I'm sure their company's gotten bigger over the years. Like, they should have an amount of people, a decent amount of people to be able to do shipping and packing, and who knows, maybe I am completely wrong. Maybe I need to be corrected on that. And if so, if someone has like a little inside scoop about Limited Run, because it feels like most of the people that commented on my post were just kind of talking out of their ass and just like sucking off Limited Run because they can do no wrong. Like, if I'm legitimately wrong and there really is only a couple people working there and they have this much backlog that they can't get to things quick enough, then okay, then I stand corrected. But until then, I feel like it's a little ridiculous that they take this long, if something's in hand already, to just throw it in a box and ship it off. Like, a month, I could see a couple weeks or whatever, but it was a literal month. A month. Like, I think that's a little ridiculous. Going back to my same analogy, if you were an eBay buyer and someone purchased something from you, it's in hand, you have the item, there's no reason why it shouldn't be shipped out. And they're like, oh, well, it's going to take about a month for me to get to that. Like, you would be pretty upset. I guarantee you those same people that are making snarky remarks at me would be pissed if an eBay seller or whatever, because the other argument was, oh, they're not Amazon, they don't ship in a day. I know that. It's a month. A month is a long ass time. Like, and I didn't order that many games. I didn't get that much. I saw people that were getting like heaps of stuff. And I get if it's a big order, it's going to take a long time to prepare all that, I guess, but I don't know. I think that's pretty lame. But going back to the community being awful. The community for Limited Run and that type of collecting is just awful. It is the shittiest group of people, at least the one that I'm in. Like I said, I'm sure there's great people. There were a couple people on my post that were sticking up for what I was saying because they agreed. And everybody's got their opinion, whatever. But I don't know. I think there are a lot of those people that I've seen, because I see people, not even just my posts, on like everything. They like just demean and like trash these people just because if they can't afford something, if they can't get their hands on it, if they think something's too expensive, which some things are like ridiculously overpriced. I get that. But it's just like all these rich white guys that like, I shouldn't say just white guys, but just a bunch of rich dudes that like don't give a shit and they can get whatever they want, and whoever can't or whoever has a complaint, they're just like, oh, well, you just can't afford it, so you're just bitching about it. Go get a better job. Like, everybody's got different situations, man. You can't just throw that on people like that. Like, when I was one of the comments that I can remember from what people were saying about mine, it's like, oh, just go buy a car or something. Go buy a car or a house. Don't worry about your video games. Like, dude, like, it's comparing apples to oranges here. That has nothing to do with anything. You're just being a dick. Like, shut up. But they do that with everything. And then you have the people that order 20 copies of a game. Oh, I'm going to sit on these so I can resell them. Like, you just suck the fun out of everything. You just suck it out for everybody else so nobody can enjoy it. Which now it's not as big of a deal because Limited Run has the pre-orders are open for a couple weeks, so whoever wants a copy can get a copy. So that's what makes me not understand even more why people just buy like 20 copies of one game. I mean, of course it's going to go away at some point, so whoever missed out on it is going to want to buy it, but I don't know. I just think that's scummy. Just it's unnecessary. Like, why? Unless you have like a video game store and you want to order those in for your customers, like that's cool. I know a YouTuber, his name's, well, the channel used to be called Sick Cooper, but now it's just called Double Jump Video Games because he runs a video game store and he orders in. I don't even think he really does limited run stuff unless if he just orders a couple copies. From what I remember, he said he was trying to get some kind of deal where he could order in bulk for limited run, whatever. Anyways, I digress. I just think a lot of those people in that group are just not there for the right reasons, and I think it's unfortunate for the people that really like this stuff and they really care about it, the games themselves, and playing them and enjoying what they're buying, instead of just like, oh, well, you don't have that, well, you're just poor, you need to get a better job, idiot. Like, I don't get those kind of people. Like, that kind of argument just makes no sense to me. I mean, yeah, everybody could have opportunities to get a better job, but you don't know everybody's situation. That's just really irritating to me. I don't. Those were just like the main points I wanted to make. I feel like the gaming community in general has definitely kind of over the years, it's been more about like whatever something's worth rather than what the game is and the reason you bought it and the reason you're talking about it. It's kind of like veering off a little bit, but it's still fun for me. Like my niche group of friends that we all collect and stuff like that, it's still something fun for us, and I'm sure there's groups of people that aren't like the one that I'm in, so I don't want to like lump everybody that collects limited run into this. It's just things, stuff I've been noticing more and more that I've been in my group that I'm in, and maybe if some of you that are watching are in that same group, you can either agree or disagree with me on if people are like that towards you, or if you've seen it being done towards other people. I kind of want to see what other people have to say about it, because I think it's happening more often than not the more I look at that Facebook page and stuff like that. So yeah, that's basically rant time for me. But now to something good. We got this little box of limited run games, some stuff that I wasn't able to get my hands on before, and I was able to get it now, and I think that's pretty cool that they do this every year. And I'm also curious about how that happens, like how they get extra. I'm guessing like maybe orders that somehow got canceled, even though you're not allowed to cancel orders, or just like ones that weren't fulfilled, or maybe they just somehow had extra copies that got produced left over. I really don't know how it happens, but it's cool for everybody else that gets to buy them. So, all right. So the one on top is one that I thought I wasn't really going to want. And the more I saw gameplay of it and the more I saw people talking about it, and I saw it at Best Buy one time and I tried to hide it somewhere so I could go back and buy it, and someone found it. But it is a Metroidvania game, and that is called Chasm. It's really cool. It's like, your typical 2D Metroidvania. Really cool art style. It's hard to tell. They didn't really pick the best screenshots, in my opinion, for this to kind of show off what the game is like. But you can kind of see the artwork is really cool though for the cover. I enjoy that quite a bit. This next game is one that I tried to get, and I can't remember how it happened. Somewhere along the line, I think this was one of their through the distribution rather than like an actual limited run. I don't think it's numbered for a limited run. Let me see. No, it is not. So yeah, I think I missed whenever they were done doing it, because I thought it was going to be on there for a while, and then they're like, oh, we're out of copies. And I was like, well, and now the game, for the last couple of listings I've seen were like $80 to $100, and I'm like, I'm not paying that. But I was able to snag a copy, and that is Mary Skelter 2. It's a very cool game. I want to get Final. I think Final is on Idea Factory right now. I think the limited edition version is probably sold out. But if I can get my hands on the game, and the first one, I don't think the first one's on Switch either. I think the first one's only on PS4. I might be wrong about that. But yeah, definitely a cool game. It is like a it's an RPG, but I'm pretty sure it's like one of the dungeon crawl type RPGs where it's just like first person and you're like going through dungeons and then you fight the enemies and stuff. And then this one, I think I have the collector's edition for, but I think it's for the PS4. I don't think I have the Switch version. Okay, listen. I've been collecting a lot of this stuff now, and I'm starting to lose track of what I have. I have it all in my app, and I just it's on my phone that I'm using to film this, so I can't really look right now. But I'm pretty sure I had the limited edition and not the regular one. So I wanted to get the normal edition just in case if it was the PS4 because I wanted it on the Switch. That is Mercenaries Wings. This is a cool little tactical RPG, a lot like Fire Emblem. Um, that's pretty much all I can really say about it. It's like in episodes from what I remember from what I played of it. It's like episodic, so you like play the first chapter and then their little cutscene will play where you're clicking through and reading the dialogue, and then it'll go to the next one, and then it just keeps going that way. But gameplay wise, it's really fun. It's like Fire Emblem, and if you're really into Fire Emblem games, I'm sure you would really like this because it's almost identical to it. The characters are pretty cool. Some of them are just kind of like carbon copies of other RPG characters, which a lot of these indie games do that, and there's nothing wrong with that really, because if you've played all those games years ago when they first came out, and it's like, oh, I want that, but I don't want it to be the same game. I want a different game. Well, there's people that make those, and it's pretty cool. Now, this one I got because I have the boxed version of it, and I just wanted to have another copy of it. I might give it to somebody. I sometimes do that if I either for trade or if someone I know wants it, I'll just give it to them. Because these games are hard to come by, and I'm pretty sure this one started going up in price quite a bit, and that is Sheeran the Wanderer. So, I mean, like I already opened mine, so I don't keep my stuff sealed, so it's just like an extra copy. Sometimes I'll get stuff. I think a lot of people do. So if you're gonna narc on me for it, whatever. But sometimes I'll find games that I know. And this is made by Spike Chunsoft, which also does Danganronpa. So I think that's another reason why people go after games like this if they're made by the same publisher or developer as a game that's really popular. People would just collect their whole line of games like Atlas and stuff like that. But sometimes I'll buy games and use them for like trade and stuff like that. If there's something that I want, I'll trade some stuff away to get something I want. I feel like a lot of people do that. I don't think there's really anything wrong with that because I'm not reselling it. I'm using it to get something that I want. So, but yeah. Or if a friend wants it, then a friend can have it. This next game is one I can't show the camera because it is a birthday present for one of my friends and he watches these videos, so I'm not going to show it. But it's a game I already have myself, so I think I probably showed it in a video before, so it's not really a big deal. And then this one, yeah, the last two are PS4 games. This one was just one of the Kemco RPGs that I didn't have, and I don't know why, but I really like the Kemco RPGs. A lot of them are really short and kind of like not well put together, per se. A lot of people don't like them, is what I'm trying to get at. A lot of people don't like them. I do. I think the art styles are always really cool, and just having a bunch of games in the genre that I like, even though they're not all going to be top tier AAA experiences, like I still think it's cool. And this one is Seek Hearts. So, yeah. I don't know. I like collecting these. I think the character designs are super cool. Very Final Fantasy, Tales-esque looking. I don't know. Pretty cool. I enjoy them. And then last but not least, this one, I didn't realize how rare this game was until I looked it up. Because I saw the cover and I literally knew nothing about it. And I was just like, oh, anime characters, that's cool. And it's a VR game, which made me even more intrigued, which unfortunately I don't have a PlayStation VR, but they're making a new one for PS5, and hopefully that'll be backwards compatible because I'll definitely get the PS5 one and maybe get some of the PS4 games because there were a few that I was interested in, like the Batman one looked cool, Iron Man, Resident Evil 7, stuff like that. they looked interesting, and now they're a little bit cheaper. And I'm sure once the new VR comes out, they'll start going up if it is backwards compatible. So might check that out. But I looked it up on eBay because I was like, oh, with the shipping cost and blah blah blah, maybe I'll just get it cheaper on eBay or whatever. And I looked it up, and this game was selling for like $90 to $100, and I was like, well, it's only $30 here, so I guess I'm gonna order it. And that is Tokyo Chronos. It looks interesting. It looks a lot like Persona, character design wise. At least the main character here. Definitely looks like the Joker character from Persona 5. You just got like different anime girls. I'll be honest with you, I didn't really look into gameplay wise. I just saw like it kind of reminded me of Akiba's Beat. If anybody's played that, it's a Xseed game. Just like being in the Tokyo area with these characters. I story wise, I don't know anything about it, which is kind of cool. Sometimes I like to go in blind like that. Just just go based on the cover, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. That's how you had to do it back in the day when you didn't have YouTube and reviews to look up. You just saw the cover and be like, oh yeah, that looks neat. I'll get that. I think it's funny that nowadays that kind of method is frowned upon. It's like, oh, you don't even know what that game is. Why'd you buy it for? Well, back in the day, unless it was like Mario or Zelda, if it was just some random game you didn't know what it was, you just bought it based on what it looked like. You didn't know. Of course, I'm not trying to speak like I'm from the 80s and I played the NES, but I was playing GameCube and Nintendo 64 when I was a kid, and there were games that I had no idea what they were, and I just saw whatever character, like Beautiful Joe, like who knew who that was in 2005? Like I didn't, and I didn't know how to use a computer back in that time, so I just went on what the cover looked like. It looked cool, so I wanted to play it. So I feel like it's weird that people like gatekeep the way that you play games, especially the limited run thing, like whatever you're buying. Which I guess I'm guilty of that too, because I don't like people who buy 20 copies to resell. But I digress. Anyway, everybody's got their bitch. So anyways, hope you liked the video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next one, see you.